So firstly, I'm going to make my quiche. I've cracked 10 eggs into a big mixing bowl and seasoned well with garlic, salt and pepper. So next I'm going to start to chop up all my ingredients for my quiche. So I'm taking a nice big handful of chives and I'm going to chop those up. I'm then dicing up half a zucchini. I'm then doing 1 cup of light grated cheese. And then adding 1 rasher of bacon. Then put all ingredients into the big bowl and give it a stir. Now you'll need your oven-proof dish and baking paper. Line the dish well with the baking paper and then grease the paper really well and generously with some olive oil. Then take your quiche mixture and simply pour it on top of the baking paper into the dish. And lastly, I'm taking my all-natural yeast flakes and sprinkling those on top. I'm then popping that into the oven on 180 degrees for 30 minutes. Next, I've got some chicken portions from Coles that are in a herb marinade. And Dave is going to pan fry those for just a few minutes both sides for us with a bit of olive oil on a high heat, just to sort of crisp up the outside skin. Dave will then put the chicken pieces in an oven dish and put those in the oven for 30 minutes on 180 degrees. I'm now starting to make my couscous salad. So I'm taking 1 cup of couscous, and in a separate saucepan, 1 cup of water. I'm now taking 2 tablespoons of olive oil and a pinch of salt and putting that into the water for the couscous. Dave's going to fry up some turkey rissoles we have here. Turkey is a great lean source of protein. So continuing on with the couscous salad, I boiled up the water, olive oil and salt in that saucepan that you can see me stirring now on the stove. Brought that to the boil and then I'm just simply adding the dry couscous and stirring with a fork to make it nice and fluffy. Now I'm going to add some ingredients to my salad. So I'm going to take half of a cucumber and dice that up. I'm also going to dice up some cherry tomatoes. Chopping up some parsley. A few spring onions. Some yellow capsicum, approximately like half a small capsicum. Then adding in some lemon and lime juice. 2 lidfuls of apple cider vinegar. Then add the couscous and all ingredients together and mix it up. I'm then just transferring that into a big bowl to store it in the fridge. You could use an airtight container if you have one, but mine are always being used for meal prep, so I'm just using a bowl and I'm glad wrapping it and popping it in the fridge. Booyah, this is so delicious. And I almost had a mini heart attack when I realised I forgot to add coriander. I absolutely love coriander. Yes, I'm one of those people that love it. So just chopping up some coriander and adding that into the salad, and then that is done. Whilst that was all happening, Dave also kindly fried up some sausages that we had left over from the week before and were going to go off. So fried those up for lunches as well. And so I'm just placing those into an airtight container and storing them in the fridge. Yay, the quiche is ready. So I've taken that out of the oven. I'm going to carefully destroy the quiche, trying to get it out of the tray. You'll see. I'm then going to slice up my quiche into portions, lunch size, sort of snack size portions, glad wrap, ziplet, and store it in the fridge. Now I'm making a tuna bake. I'm starting off with 2 cups of pasta, popping those into a saucepan and putting them on the stove to cook for a while until they're soft. I'm then adding some milk to a separate saucepan. I'm going to start making the cheese sauce for the tuna bake. Then adding some light cheese to the milk. Some unsalted butter. And cooking that on the stove until it's all melted and combined. Then taking 1 whole onion and dicing it up. And I have a pre-prepared tin of tuna in brine. Don't get the one in oil, it's just extra fat we don't need. In a separate bowl, I'm going to add the onion to that. And then transferring it all into a bigger bowl because I realised I stupidly used a bowl that was too small. Then adding some mixed herbs and giving it a nice stir. I then take my cooked pasta and add that. And stir again. Then pour the mixture into an oven-safe dish. And then add your hot cheese sauce. Sprinkle some light cheese on top. And pop it in the oven for 30 minutes on 180 degrees. So while that's cooking, I'm going to take some tinned tomatoes that I've seasoned with some salt and pepper and spoon those over the turkey rissoles. Now time to prep some green vegetables, really important for weight loss and just health and well-being in general. So I'm chopping up 1 broccoli head. And doing the exact same thing with 1 bunch of asparagus. And some Brussels sprouts, which I normally would not eat, but they are a fantastic source of iron. some green beans. I love beans. And placing that into a saucepan with water and a pinch of salt. And there's all my veggies boiling away on the stove. So now I'm going to start putting the veggies into the meal packs. So I have my chicken portions here. I'm going to pop some broccoli into each of those. And I'm then going to do the same with the turkey rissoles. I'm also adding all the other green veggies to all these meals. So the beans, Brussels sprouts and asparagus. And those meals are now done, so I can pop the lids on and put all those meals into the freezer or the fridge. My tuna casserole is now ready and out of the oven. I'm just trying to slice it into appropriate portion sizes with my little spatula thingy, and then I'm going to pop that into my meal prep containers. Pop the lids on those and again store them in the fridge or freezer. Now I'm going to make some protein balls. So I've got some cashew nuts here. I'm going to place the whole packet into a food processor and blend them up until they're a fine consistency. I then split the cashew nut mixture into 2 separate bowls. Then I'm adding protein powder. I'm doing 2 different flavors here, so I'm doing vanilla in one and chocolate in the other. Then add half a cup of desiccated coconut to each bowl. Then I'm adding 2 tablespoons of rice malt syrup to each bowl. And then combine everything together with your hands. And roll the mixture into balls so you have some vanilla and some chocolate. And these store well in the fridge for up to 2 weeks. Just glad wrap those and pop them in the fridge. So here's everything completed. We have our quiche, our couscous salad, our sausages, our vanilla and chocolate protein balls, tuna bake, turkey rissoles with tomatoes and greens, and also chicken portions with greens. If you would like any recipes, please just comment below and I'll be happy to message them to you. Take care, guys.